Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling, and thank you very much for making some time out of your day to check the video out. It's always very grateful for that. And got a good one for you guys today. We're going to be talking about how to rig a tube, how to modify a tube, and how to do some tweaks to a tube to not only get more bites, but to land a lot more fish that you do to get to bite it. Because guys, in my opinion, I think the month of May is the best time to fish a tube. So I got some good juice for you guys on this. So real quick, guys, got a few updates with the channel here I just want to let you guys know about. YouTube did away with that View Product Shopping tab. You guys know I've been talking about it the last year, and they're going to replace it with some other type of program. They haven't got it lined out yet, but I'll keep you guys updated with that. And also, just wanted to give you guys the weekly reminder. If you haven't had a chance, please swing by fishthemoment.com and check out our lake map breakdowns. We got all of our spring lake map breakdowns on the website. Got our summer map breakdowns also too. I'll include the Fish the Moment lake map breakdown section in the description here. So much appreciated. Okay guys, here's what we're going to do is I'm going to show you before and after of this tube modification. And so you'll be able to see firsthand what I'm talking about, how different this is and how better it looks once you do this. And also I'll include the Baitworks link in the description if you guys want to get you some tubes or jig heads or whatever. It's a good way to support the channel, so I'll put that link in the description. Okay guys, we got this is just a regular 4-inch salty tube here. So the first thing I do with it, and I'm going to show you the before and after what it looks like, is you guys have watched the channel, you hear me talk about roughing up your plastics. This is extremely important to do to a tube because most tubes, guys, are fairly hard, because the reason they're hard is they have a lot of salt impregnation in them. And the more salt that you have in the plastic, the stiffer and the harder it makes the plastic. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but this tube's pretty stiff and hard right here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to break up some of those fibers and get that salt out. So we're going to start rubbing them up like this, and it's going to bring all that salt to the surface. And every time that you do this, the longer you do this, the softer it makes this tube. It makes it really pliable. I spend a long time doing it. I want to get this thing as soft and as pliable as I can, because the softer it is, not only the fish will hang on to it better, but you get a better hook set because you don't have as hard a plastic to get in the way of the hook point. So we'll rough that up. You can see the difference where the salt's starting to come out there. The next thing you want to do on a tube, now tube tentacles like this, some of them are inconsistent, and you'll have some of them that sort of stick together. So here's an important thing to remember to do on all your tubes, guys. Go through each one of the tentacles and make sure they're separated, because sometimes these tubes, they'll get like this one right here. See, this one's stuck together. Now just watch. I'm gonna pull this thing apart. Get a hold of it here. And you just want to get it where it pulls apart like that. And what happens is, it just makes the tentacles a lot more independent of each other, gives it better action. So make sure all your tentacles are individual like that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get ready to put our jig head in. Now the tube modification I'm showing for this video, guys, this is for a tube jig head. It's not for a Texas rig. That'll be for a different video. But the tube head I like is just any type of a cylindrical head with an EWG bite. The EWG bite is really critical. I think you get a lot more fish in the boat other than just a round bend. So that's the hook I prefer right there more than anything. I'm not even sure where I got these. I've had these things for 25 years. So the next thing you want to do is you want to make a channel for the hook. So just take a pair of scissors or nippers or whatever and just cut about 1 inch up in the tube here. That's what we want to do. And what we're doing is we're making a channel for the tube, for the hook to lay in. I'll show you what it means when we get down here. Actually, I'd have a pair of scissors here, it'd be better. But just cut a channel like that, just a channel opening. Next thing you do is just wet the tube head a little bit. Slides up in there a lot easier. And then come on up all the way into the end and come through. So what this has now is you've got this channel right here in the hook. So it'll set down nice in it like that. But what happens is when that fish bites it, it gives you more of a hook point because it'll release up in that channel and you get a lot better hookup. So here's the difference, guys, between the two. Now here's a tube right here. It's the same tube. I just took this tube out of the package and I just stuck the head up in there, and I didn't make a channel or anything like that. It's just setting up just like that. And look at the difference. And I haven't messed with the tentacles. Look at the difference in the two. Now which one do you, if you were a bass, which one would you hit? This one obviously looks a lot more realistic. Also on this one right here, the way most people rig it, you know, you got a lot of plastic in the way. You don't have a channel for when those fish hit it, so you don't have as good of a hook point possibility. And another thing that I'll do sometimes, finally, is see how uniform these tubes are, the tentacles. Sometimes I'll take like 2 or 3 of the tentacles and I'll cut them off halfway up. And what this does, it sort of gives it a little bit more of an ununiform rough look. And I can tell you right there, guys, that is like candy to a bass right there. A roughed up tube, you know, separate your tentacles like that, get a ton of bites like that, and give it a try. In May, like I said, this is my favorite time of year to fish a jig head tube. I like to fish it for post spawn bass on flatter banks. If you guys have small rock or gravelly banks or clay banks or mud banks, it's a really good place to fish a tube. Just fan cast it out on those flat points, that type of stuff. It's one of the first places those post spawn fish go to. So give it a try, guys. It's this little modification, really good. It'll help you catch a lot of fish like that, and hope you can have some success with it. We'll see y'all later.